Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaming Lounge Podcast, episode 105. Once again, I'm your host, Sebastian, and as always, I'm joined by Dory. How you doing, Dory?
Lowlands away. Here I am. I am absolutely exhausted. We haven't recorded in a while. I've just been busy with camp, and I got a promotion unexpectedly. No added money because in this economy. But I'm always already meeting a good amount of money. It's a full-time job in the summer for me, so I am getting all the booty I can. That being wealth. So yeah, speaking of Lowland Away and Booty, we're going to talk about Black Flag. No, not this book, but this is a great book. You should go read it if you want to learn about pirates. Eric J. Dolan is a very good historian. I read it last summer, actually, so I wanted to plug it because it's a great look at how pirates actually lived, as opposed to Black Flag Resynced, which is what we're going to talk about today. I'm very excited. I love Black Flag. Has a special place in my heart, which I've talked about before. It's my favorite Assassin's Creed game. So we're going to talk about today whether it holds up or not.
Yeah, I was playing it before I went on the Disney trip, and I got in a pirate mood because Pirates of the Caribbean is at Disney World, and I love
Yep.
one of my favorite rides, my second favorite ride after the Haunted Mansion, and when I got home from the Disney trip, I was I was near the end of the game, I just got on a pirate binge, and I watched like Treasure Planet, Treasure Island, and I watched Pirates of the Caribbean. I was watching all those movies, and
Yep.
then I finished this game. So I was very much so in a pirate mood. Perfect summer game, as I said before. Perfect July
Yeah.
game.
This
Um,
really makes me want to
yeah.
rewatch Our Flag Means Death. I fucking love that show. Our Flag Means Death is so good. I also never watched, I think it's literally called Black Flags or something, but there was like a limited TV show that was supposed to be pretty decent, and it's on Netflix, I think, last I checked. But I think it's also called Black Flags or something. And yeah, it's gotten me in a pirate mood too. I'm thinking about watching that after, but we'll see. That's a big commitment. But yeah,
And then you got One Piece, of course. So
yeah, One Piece.
let's talk about the game. So Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is a remake of the original game in 2013. I think it was like my first PS4 game, like AAA
Black
PS4 game.
Sails.
My first PS4 game was Resogun. That was free with PS Plus, and then I remember going to Best Buy to pick up my PS4. Like this is the midnight opening of PS4, and I bought Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So yeah, it's crazy how long it's been, and it's a different lifetime ago. And I was very excited for this game. I think it's arguably the best Assassin's Creed game in the series. In fact, oh, I think the second game might be my favorite, but Black Flag is like right up there. It's like tied first,
Yeah.
and I can see why people think it's the best because it has a really awesome world and characters, and the pirate, like how many pirate games are there in video gaming? In gaming, like really not that much, honestly. Like you would think this would be a big genre, and there really isn't that many pirate games. And then they're usually not that great. You agree with that, Dory? I can't think of a lot of pirate games that are like genuinely really good.
Honestly, Black Flag has stood out so long because it
Yeah.
is such a good pirate game about being a pirate. Whereas, I mean, obviously, you had that Skull and Bones kerfuffle.
Yeah.
You've had more recent ones like Windrose that
Mm-hmm.
has a claim to fame for being a great survival game, but even then, it's not completely doing what Black Flag is. It only has elements. So yeah,
Monkey
it's one of
Island
those genres where
as
it's like
well.
you'd think there'd be more that are great. I mean,
Yeah.
Monkey Island, but that's point and click. Like that's completely different.
Yeah. But the pirate games, like can't think of a lot of them. Lego Pirates, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll talk about the remake, and the remake just came out a couple weeks ago, and people were really excited for it because it looked a lot prettier, and they improved a lot of the gameplay and the stealth and all that, which we'll get into. And so we'll start with the premise, of course. The premise is it takes place in the golden age of piracy. That's where the Pirates of the Caribbean takes place as well. It takes place in
Yeah.
the early 18th century Caribbean, which is like the 1700s, 1715 to 1722 to be specific. It takes place in the Caribbean, so you get to explore in this game the whole western side of the Caribbean, not the eastern side. You can't go to the Dominican or Puerto Rico like that, but you can. It's all the west side, and you even go to a little bit of Florida, like right at the top. There's a little bit of Florida. Um, So it features a lot of historical hubs like Havana, which is in Cuba, Kingston, which is Jamaica, and in Nassau, which is in the Bahamas. That's the pirate hub. And it has various characters such as Blackbeard, Charles Vane, and Anne Bonny. And the central character is named Edward Kenway, and he's like a very charismatic, very fiercely independent Welsh privateer who becomes our pirate captain. And he's for most of the game he's driven by like just greed. He just wants
Yep.
success, and it leads to blown up in his face. But we won't spoil anything. But like it blows up in
Yeah.
his
I
face.
think I will say briefly, that's probably why Kenway is personally my one of my favorite like main character Assassin's Creed game, because he's not an assassin for most of the game, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not a Templar either. He's like I was thinking about it like last night, I think. I was like, he's kind of like a gray Jedi in that way. Like he's kind of like in
Mm,
between, like he's not quite Jedi or Sith or assassin or Templar. He's more towards an assassin, but he does a lot of stuff the assassins don't agree with and they don't
yeah.
like. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good comparison. But I think that's what makes him unique. He's not bought into the assassin's philosophy, right?
Yeah.
Or if he is, it's incredibly self-serving and all about, like Seb said, his greed. So
Yeah.
I think that's a much more interesting character than
Yeah.
the characters who are just like, oh, assassins, that's so cool. I'm gonna buy in immediately. Like Edward has this whole journey of buying into the assassin's creed.
Yeah.
And then and yeah, it's I think it's a much more interesting, realistic journey.
Right. Yeah, like, and he just like stumbles into it, like this big take over the
Yes.
world plot, like only because he kills like a rogue assassin and takes his
Yeah.
clothes, and he just kind of just stumbles into this conspiracy that the Templars are trying to
Right.
take over the world, as they always do in every game. And
Yep.
he's trying to find this mysterious location known as the observatory, where you can find and you can literally see where anyone is, and it gives you that will give you like ultimate power, and you can see what all your enemies are up to and things like that. And he steals the guy's identity and he collects through reward from the Templars. He pretends to be one of them, and the mistake drags Edward directly into like this big ancient secret war, which is in every Assassin's Creed game between the assassins and the Templars. Um, Even the Templars, like they're very evil, and they have like but they're like, but I get what they're like arguing. But
It's the
I don't agree
classic
with it.
means
But
to an end kind of
yeah,
argument, right? It's like we're yeah, sure, we're going to be enslaving all of humanity, but we're doing it so there will be finally no more empires and no more peace,
yeah,
and like some of them are against slavery, so it's
yeah,
like it's not they're still bad, but
yeah.
like there is a method to their madness. It's just a horrible,
Right.
terrible method that'll enslave everyone's mind.
Right. It was like it was like that's like literally the plot of Naruto, where like we're just gonna hypnotize the entire planet because then there'll be no more war, there'll be no more violence if everybody's just
Exactly. Yeah.
hypnotizing, living in their fantasy. Yeah. So let's talk about the remake's features. So right off the bat, the visuals of this game have complete ray tracing and then global illumination. It has advanced water simulation. The water in this game is gorgeous, which we'll talk about when we get
Yep.
to the pros. It has Dolby Atmos support and it has enhanced weather effects. It has a seamless open world. There's no loading screens when entering major cities or docking your ship. It really is seamless. The combat is much better, in my opinion, as well. The original game's counter spam chains kills are replaced with a hitbox based system focusing on enemy defense and posture bars, parries, and dynamic takedowns. You can't use the hidden blade when you're fighting, only for stealth. The In terms of the stealth, players can now crouch anywhere. The frustrating tailing and eavesdropping missions have been redesigned to eliminate instant game over screens, offering an
Yep.
alternative path if you're spotted.
I will say some of
But
those tailing missions, if you play them straight, are still kind of long and they kind of drag. And there's
yes,
especially if you're in a ship and you fail and you get sent all the way back to the beginning, like there's
yeah,
still signs that this game was made like over 10 years ago,
yeah,
but they
so
have made it a lot better.
yeah, that's some of my cons: the checkpoint system and some of the old school
Yeah,
missions.
disabling saves. I got to talk about that later. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. Uh, It adds, in terms of the navigation, it adds a fully customizable HUD and a dedicated observe skill to identify targets from afar. It has the original 12 campaign sequences but it introduces roughly 6 hours of new exclusive story content. This includes fresh storylines for fan favorite characters like Blackbeard and Steady. Was it Bonnet? You said last time.
Yeah, Steed Bonnet. Yeah.
Steed Bonnet. Naval officer side missions in a brand new 8 mission endgame chapter titled "A World Without Gold." The original Ab- Ab- Abstergo,
Abstergo.
yeah, Abstergo. Office modern day segments have been replaced by optional Animus riffs that connect directly to the current franchise storyline. So a lot of changes in this game. A lot of mostly good for sure.
Mostly good.
Well, I mean, I
I
think all
know
the
the
changes are good. Just
yeah.
but it kept some of the old school stuff, which is not great. That
Right.
that's more
I know
accurate.
there was a lot of debate about the Abstergo side. I've been pretty consistent that I was fine with it gone. The modern day stuff was only really interesting to me when what's his name? Uh I can't remember his name. The guy in the first 3 games, Desmond.
Desmond.
Desmond. Can't believe I remembered his name. When Desmond was involved, I thought it was interesting because I was invested in Desmond's character. But
Yeah,
for very silly reasons, I won't even bother getting into because Assassin's Creed lore is
yeah,
ridiculous. That's not really relevant here anyway. I believe, if I remember correctly, in the original, you just take on the place of some rando in
yeah.
modern times. So for me personally, this wasn't a big deal. Honestly, I think it's good that they cut that out and they gave more Golden Age of Piracy content. I think that's great. For
Yeah.
me personally, I really liked it.
Yeah, I prefer that as well. I always thought the modern day stuff was the worst parts of Assassin's Creed, and it dragged the game
Yeah.
down. I'd rather Assassin's Creed just be like our not like a simulation, but just living in that time period and getting absorbed in that world. I don't want like
Yeah.
a Matrix kind of story with
I
it.
haven't even done any of the Animus riffs. I don't know if you can tell me if they're worth doing or anything, but I didn't do any of them. So,
I don't really think they're worth doing it. In fact,
okay.
a lot of the side content in this game gets very repetitive, which I'll talk
I
about.
agree. A lot of the side stuff I did not do.
Yeah, which also shows its age. Although I
Yes.
say that, but a lot of games today still do that.
Still
So
do it. And especially if they're from a company known as Ubisoft.
yeah.
But not
Um.
necessarily just them, of course. But yeah.
Oh, but they're probably the kings of filling a
Oh,
map up of icons.
yes, for sure.
Nobody does that more than them. All right, so let's get into the pros. So the pros right off the bat, you have to talk about the visuals. The visuals in this game are absolutely incredible, jaw-dropping. I mean, this game has legitimate 4K graphics, and the ray tracing in this game is absolutely insanely good. The water reflections just look gorgeous. Some of the best water I've ever seen in a game. The storms, the way they handle hurricanes, are so incredible. The water spouts, I mean, the visuals of this game just look absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like I've taken so many screenshots of this game, like
Same.
just the background, look like when you climb up really high really high on a building and you look out in the distance, it looks absolutely amazing. It was like
Fantastic.
Uncharted level. Um, they did an incredible job with the visuals. It's how I remember the original game looking back in 2013.
Yes. Yeah, I also had that thing where video like gaming channels would show original clips of the of the Black Flag, sorry. And wrong pirate franchise. They would show Black Flag and I was like, that's not right. That's not what I remember. I remember it looking so much better than that. Not that it looked terrible, but I remember it looking better than it actually did. And I completely agree with Seb. This is the easiest pro to mention. It looks I've taken so many screenshots while on the open waters, while I'm doing synchronization points. I haven't taken too many while I'm fencing or whatever, or not fencing, but like fighting other pirates or officials or whatever, just because it's really hectic and not a good idea to do that.
Yeah,
But and also I'm using fucking Ubisoft Connect.
sure.
Taking a screenshot's a little more complicated. I have to press like one more button, and that one more button makes it so hard to
Yeah,
do things on the fly. But yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful. A lot of the major characters look really good too. I mean, Blackbird looks fantastic. And just obviously Edward looks great too. So it's just an all round success graphically wise.
absolutely. Yeah, one of the things I love about the Steam controller is I can assign my screenshot button to the back of the controller. So I hit the back button,
Nice.
and so while I'm fighting, I can just hit the button, and
Nice.
so it really comes in handy because I take a lot of screenshots of
Nice.
every game. But yeah, the visuals look absolutely insane. Like that is by far the best part of this game. If you have a high end computer, and Dory has a good computer, and I have a really good computer as well, um, on very high and ultra settings, this game looks amazing. Like I mean, this
Yeah.
game is polished, and like it has. You can talk about the frame rate and everything, but in terms of just the visual fidelity,
I agree. Yeah, totally. I've
high
never
end.
really had any visual issues or bugs.
Yeah,
I mean, little things we'll talk about, but generally, yeah, it's a fantastic looking game.
because Ubisoft games don't always have that polish in the graphics.
They don't.
I mean, Assassin's Creed especially notorious for the missing faces and floating eyes, right?
Yeah, I did have one bug early on. I'll just talk about this now. It's a nothing issue, but I just want to mention it just because I'm thinking about it. But
No, no problem.
the I think it was one of the first. It was the Charles Vane tutorial mission where you learn how to sink a ship,
Hmm.
and I think the, we weren't under. There was a clip I'm thinking of where they were underwater, but it was different. I think we were like standing above the water or something. It was very funny. I should have gotten a clip of it, but
Yeah.
that's my only major issue, and it was funny. It was like an Oblivion issue. You know what I mean? It's a nothing issue. It doesn't break your game, and it's just funny. It's just
Right.
fun.
Right.
So I've had nothing really serious graphically or visually.
Nope. Not me either. All right. Let's talk about the map. So the map is very big. I
Yes.
don't find it overwhelming, but it is definitely pretty big. There's
Yeah.
a lot of places to sail to. I mean, it's the entire west of the Caribbean. Like it goes all the way from Mexico all the way to the right, where like right at the edge of Haiti. So it's a
Yeah,
pretty
and you can
wide
also
gap.
go to Africa, although I think that's usually a cutscene and like then you're there.
Yeah,
But
that one
yeah.
you can't travel to. Like that's just part of like the story.
Yes.
But you go like pretty far south down and pretty north up as
Yeah.
well. Um, yeah, so there's a lot to explore. It's very accurate, the map actually. They didn't just like make up a bunch of islands. Like you actually, it is pretty accurate of the Caribbean to a T. Um, I mean, I'm not in the Caribbean. I'm in Florida, but like I'm pretty close. So I'm familiar with it. The main hub, obviously, as we already talked about, is in the Bahamas. NASA is in the Bahamas. Still exists. Still a place.
Yep.
And yeah, so the map is pretty good. The sailing and everything's is well done. I think the sailing is great for the most part. Yeah, it has that times where I feel the boredom or tiredness of realistic simulation of like travel
Yes.
of like Red
Yeah.
Dead Redemption 2 had this problem with the horses. You gotta like wait 20 minutes, like you're walking across the map for 10 minutes, and people love that
Yeah.
immersion. Me personally, I like to fast travel.
Yeah,
I'm not that
I
person.
do too, and this is one of my cons, but yeah, the fast travel system kind of frustrates me sometimes, even though it's not that bad. This is more of a minor gripe. I have more major gripes, but yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes as much as I love the sailing and I love the sea shanties and I love the atmosphere and all that, and it doesn't take that long. It always feels like it takes like a hair too long to get where you want if you don't have fast travel available. Fast travel, by the way, is where cutscenes come in, but even then, they're like 10 seconds. It's not a big deal. But yeah, it can get a little annoying. We'll talk about that more later.
yeah. But overall, the sailing is good. Like
Yes.
having your own boat is awesome. Being able to customize it, there's so much customization in this game. Having your own crew and hiring people, you feel like a legitimate pirate captain. They did a fantastic job, like just making you feel like a pirate. Like you forget this is an Assassin's Creed game. That's how good it is. I mean, you feel like it's a legitimate pirate game,
Yep.
and you really get attached to the side characters. I think for me, like his first in command, his quartermaster, and things like that. Like
Yeah, Ade.
he's one of my favorite characters in the game.
Yeah, it's such a good. I'm gonna try to word this cautiously. It's a very good portrayal of the most tolerant white man with a very obviously black person, right? Like I think they do a really good job of highlighting in a couple of quick conversations Edward's kind of casual racism, but he's like against slavery and he like is allowing,
Yeah,
but like even Ade says it would be a bad idea for him to be captain, right?
yeah,
Because the crew would revolt against him
right,
for obvious racist reasons. But I mean, and he treats him as an equal, right? There's never anything really where he dismisses Ade because of the only reason Edward ever dismisses anyone is because of his fucking greed. He's very consistent about that.
yeah,
He's like, I don't see skin color. I see dollar signs.
yeah.
But
But the
yeah, it's
yeah,
good. It's done well. Like there's one conversation where where they're talking about last thing on this, but where they're talking about how they're going to get rich from the scheme or whatever, and of course, it doesn't happen. But he's like, Ade, are you going to go back to Africa and to be amongst your people? And he was like, why would I go there? Like, I'm no more amongst my people there than I am in France. Like, are you going to go to France and be amongst your people? Like, it's a very good, quick, non-intrusive conversation about like, hey, like, even though Edward's a good guy, not really. If you think about the plot, he's actually a pretty terrible husband, and obviously murders hundreds of people. It's a good relationship between them. Honestly, this is one of the easiest games I've had where I'm like, I don't really care about killing the people I come into contact with because it's literally the British Empire, one of the most ruthless, colonialist, racist, like just absolute notorious piece of shit empire on the planet. So I'm like, I just don't feel a lot of empathy for any of them.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're not really supposed to, but
yeah.
I just think in that way, it's easy to fight a lot of the people and not really see Kenway as that bad of a guy because the Empire, the French, um, the British Empire, honestly, even the Spanish Empire, but them to a lesser extent. I usually leave their boats alone. But if I see an English flag, I mean, I could go either way, honestly, depending on how it goes. But anyway, I've talked enough.
Yeah, the irony of this time period is that the pirates, they're not great people, but the pirates are actually
No.
were more democratic and more welcoming to other races than
Yes.
the civilized countries, basically. Um,
Yeah.
so they would accept black people as just another pirate. And
Yeah.
guess what this game does. They
Yeah.
tackle
There's
they tackle race a little bit in this game, but not in, like in a good subtle way. Like it's not like in your
yes.
face. It's just it
It's
does it.
very it happens very infrequently, and when it happens, it's very impactful, and they move on. And it's not like, not that I'm not against that being in games, but just like it's not the main point of the plot, right? But it is
Yeah,
part of the plot because of Ade is such an important character, and he keeps Edward's head on right, or at least he tries to,
yeah.
right, multiple times.
Because I
Yeah,
won't go on a tangent, but I do think on both sides focus on those kind of things too much. But like I think what's like when there's like a left writer, like they tend to make that person like that's like their whole identity. Like his whole identity is
yeah,
that he's just black and that's it. I like that they just made him like a third, well-rounded character. He's not just like, oh, he's a
yeah.
black person on the ship, and then we're gonna make that his whole storyline. Most of
Yeah.
the storyline,
He's
he's
got
the
other
more
ambitions.
right,
He's
and
got
he
other
yeah,
ambitions, and he eventually like changes his character over time. And race is an important part of the game, but it's not the only part.
exactly, and I like that he's like the moral compass of Edward. Like he's the one that tries to talk Edward out of his greed and like going down the wrong road and be like, this is the wrong path. You're gonna get everybody killed. And he's not afraid to rebel against Edward. He's like, I'm not doing this, and he walks away, kind of thing. So
Right.
really great character. All right.
Yep.
But all the other side characters are, I mean, the villains are all like pretty generic, big mob boss type of character. Like they always do.
Right.
Felt very Far Cry 6. Um, people betray you as they do and things like that. But I
Yep.
mean, nothing like incredible writing wise, but like very good. Like it's good.
Yeah.
The voice acting and the performances in this game are strong.
Very good.
I think I don't know if they. I haven't played the original in so long, but did they really? I don't know if they redid everything or most of everything, but because I feel like I feel like these voices sound more modern, like they
Yeah.
re-recorded
I
things.
want to say a special shout out to Ralph Ineson, who absolutely crushes it as Charles Vane. He always crushes it. He's in Final Fantasy 16
Yeah,
as the mentor character. I can't remember his name. But he's
yeah.
very important in that game too.
I believe he's in Game of Thrones. He has a very distinct voice.
Yeah,
You
he's got a
just know.
very distinct voice. Absolutely crushes it as Charles Vane.
Yeah,
And that's such a good time. The guy, I don't know who voices Blackbeard, but they absolutely nail it too. The one who did Captain Kidd, they nail it. I think that's honestly what pushes this above for me
yeah,
is like the voice acting and the commitment to the dialect of the time. Because contrary to what everyone thinks, no, pirates did not say "yar har me hearties" all the fucking time or "wear eye patch and peg legs." Right? There's a lot of superstitions and they're fun. I'm not like bashing them or whatever. They're
yeah.
fun and they're there for a reason because they're fun to tell stories. And I'm sure they happen to some extent, but they're wildly exaggerated. Walking the plank almost never happened. Why wouldn't you just shoot a guy,
No,
right? What would be the point?
yeah, they didn't even walk the plank. That's like a
Yeah, exactly.
20th century
So
narrative that they.
yeah, so it's fun to see them really commit to it, and you could have easily,
Yeah,
made things extravagant and extrapolated and stuff. I also really like the stuff about democracy. Another part that's not really brought up, but only mentioned maybe 2 or 3 times, is that and Seb mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I want to follow up on it. I mean, one of the things definitely you learn from reading historical books about pirates is that they had a way more democratic system than pretty much every other country at the time. Now, I'm not saying they were angels. I'm not saying they were great people.
no,
It just made a lot of sense because the captain was on a confined space and there were 12 of the crew. I'm just giving a random example. And there were one of him and maybe a quartermaster, right? So you just kind of had to do democracy. But it worked really well. And there are books about pirates using democracy for making sure that treasure is split evenly and that captains are held accountable for crimes and breaking the code.
right.
It's a really interesting sociological thing. It gets brought up a couple of times in the game, but it's not like a huge part of it either. But
Yeah,
it's really cool as a historical note.
yeah. I mean, unfortunately, you don't get to really get attached to your crew because like you don't really talk.
No,
You don't get to talk to most of your crew. You only talk to the main
no,
characters, just the
it's
main
really just
characters.
Ade and the
Yeah,
officers kind of.
yeah.
Yeah,
But that's not a big deal. I mean, it's not that
no,
kind of game either. Like,
no,
I guess you could go a little more detail with that, but that's not really a con to me. I don't really care about that. All right. So there's no loading screens, as I said. When you transition to the open world, it's just seamless. Right, pulling into a city, it
yeah,
just feels like realistic. It feels realistic. It just feels like you pull it right in, you jump right off the boat, and then you're all good. It, Definitely, if you play the old one now, I feel like you're gonna feel that difference. Like, oh my god, these loading screens, especially if you play it on a
yeah,
base PS4. No more game over. That was a big con for me with the original game. There's so much of old school mission design in this game, and it's still there, but it's very much so improved. Because there's so many times where things go wrong, and it's mostly because the AI doesn't do what I want it to do, which I'll get into the cons. Like
yeah,
when I'm supposed to kill a target, but he just never walks my direction, and when he does walk my way, it's like 5 enemies around him.
yeah,
It's really fun. It can be frustrating at times. But fortunately, if you do make a mistake or something happens, you don't get a game over. You can just fight your way through it and still kill them. And even it's a little bit my con, but like when you kill a boss or a target, it jumps right to a cutscene, and then sometimes the aggro just stops. So you can kind of just sometimes you can just run in and kill the guy, and
yeah.
then
I absolutely did that. Like there were a couple of times where I was like, okay, if I just kill this guy, it'll end combat. I'm like holding on by a thread or something in a couple of these situations. I'm like, okay, I just got to kill this guy real quick, and then I'll go to cutscene and I'll be safe.
yeah, yeah. So there's, as I said, there's 6 hours of brand new content.
Yep.
I don't really remember the original game as much, so to like compare the two of that. But but they focused a lot on Blackbeard, and Blackbeard was one of the best characters in this game. I really enjoyed
Yes.
his character. He had a great story arc, and
Yes.
the end
Completely
game is pretty
historic.
good too.
Completely. I'm going to be a nerd here. Completely ahistoric, but obviously that doesn't matter. It's a Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
But the arc that he went on in general is very true. Because Blackbeard by the end of his life, well, I won't get into spoilers, but the themes that they touched on for Blackbeard's character are absolutely accurate. Blackbeard was honestly a lot less bloodthirsty than people think he was.
yeah,
Absolutely, he was a killer, but he did not kill as many people as
yeah,
say a later character you'll meet, Mr. Roberts. He a lot of what he did relied on intimidation. Putting on that hat with the ropes around and dousing his beard with fire and the ropes with fire, so he looked like a demon out of hell or something.
right,
Like the reason why Blackbeard was so infamous and lived so long is because he didn't kill people, and he avoided his steely fate for quite a while because of that. But yeah, anyway, I thought that was fun too. They kept that pretty appropriate. Generally speaking,
Yeah,
he was still a pirate. He still killed people. He still enacted violence and thievery. So
yeah,
again, I'm not like defending him, but I think there's nuance to be had.
yeah. Although in a lot of media they tend to portray him as an older man, like an older pirate, and he actually
Yeah,
died in his late 30s, so he wasn't even that old when he died. I mean, that was
yeah,
very
he was
that
not.
was very common back then. Obviously, a lot of people didn't. A lot of pirates died in their 30s and 20s.
Yes,
Obviously, I mean, first of all,
it's not it.
they didn't brush their teeth. First of all,
Right.
oh, I couldn't even imagine the pain of that. They couldn't eat anything. All right, the combat feels really good overall.
Yes,
It feels
naval
modern.
combat.
They just used the modern Assassin's Creed combat, and it feels great, as it always does. It's pretty standard, parrying and dodging. Sometimes the timing can be a little hard. Like some of the enemies, like the dagger ones, they're like really fast.
They
It
do
can
it
be
really fast. Sometimes enemies will do like a really quick unblockable, and I'll be like, I okay, like I
it's
was
too
not ready for
fast.
that. And you get
Yeah,
hit decently hard. It's kind of frustrating because in the game, I feel like a hypocrite saying this because I don't like the RPG elements in future Assassin's Creed titles, and these are really toned down RPG features. But it would have been nice if you could have upgraded your remedies, or how much health they did, or how many you could hold, or like if you got different gear, it would have like a armor rating or something. I know
yeah,
that's RPG-ish and that's like
yeah,
sacrilegious for some, but
yeah,
just little tiny things because it just feels pointless to upgrade. Like I kept Edward's original outfit the entire game because I'm like, what's the point? Why am I just to look nice? I mean, that's cool, but
yeah,
I want actual tangible benefits, and I don't think there was any for any
yeah. You
upgrades.
get skills, but you don't get stats.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that. The gameplay has its moments where it can be a little janky. Like I'm trying to dodge out of the way, and I keep jumping into the big guy. He keeps catching me and throwing me back
yeah,
down. I wasn't trying to jump into him, but I was
yes,
backing up, and it was just wasn't working. But I'll get into all that in the
hmm
cons. But overall, I think the gameplay is good. Is it the best I've ever played? No, but but it's good. Like, it's like
yeah,
it. Overall, I never really had a major problem. Like I was satisfied
correct,
with the
yeah,
gameplay, even with the ship combat too. Like it has some issues, but it's probably the best ship combat that I can think of. And there's not that many to compare it
yeah.
to, but it's
The
pretty.
only other one that I can think of, and
Yeah.
I know this is gonna be super funny, is Kingdom Hearts 3, but that's just because it basically completely copies this game and just simplifies it for children. So like that's the only reason why it would even ever come close. But I totally agree. The once you get a hold of it, the naval combat's great. Sometimes I could get a little frustrated with the handling just because ships will suddenly pull ahead of me or behind me, and I'll have to think on the fly, and I have to balance a bunch of buttons at once. But it
Yeah.
does feel kind of realistic in that sense. Like as a
Yeah.
captain, I'm sure you'd have to balance a bunch of things too. So,
Yeah.
but it's so cool. I mean, I never get tired of seeing cannons fly out, especially the fiery cannons.
Yeah.
The mortar shots are really cool. I never use the barrels. I always forget they're there. And the chain shots too. Sometimes I use them, but most of the time I use the broadside cannons or
Yeah.
the shotgun fiery cannons, whatever they are, and the
Right.
mortar. And
Right.
that's really it.
Yeah, the customization of the ships are great, and overall, I think for the most part, controlling them and everything was good. There was times where like we had to make a sharp turn, or like you got hit
Yeah,
by like, a giant gust of wind, and you have to like hit buttons to like get back on track, and it was kind of frustrating
yeah.
going straight. I did kind of like, even though the traveling could have been a little faster for me. I kind of liked putting my controller down and just like letting it sail for like straight, and I didn't have to do anything. And I would like look at my
Yeah,
phone. I would look
I
at my
did that as
phone.
well a couple times. Not
Yeah,
for super long, but like yeah, I did that I was like I wonder if it
yeah.
just works.
I
So,
think that's the point though. I think that's what they were going
no, it
for.
is for sure.
But and I'm not that person that likes to like live and breathe the world, and I want a real life version of sailing a ship. It's a video game. Let's get it going. For me, that's
Yep.
me though. Because I play a lot of games. If I only play like 3 or 4 games a year, then yeah, I would want to be absorbed in the world. But other times, let's get to the point. The swimming in this game, I remember this one being a lot better than the original. But again, it's been so long. But the swimming in this game feels good. I didn't swim a lot, but when I did, it
I
felt
didn't
fine.
either.
Because swimming can be a major con for games. A lot of games can't
Yeah.
handle water
I did
levels.
the diving bell one was really annoying. The tutorial for it, I could not find where that medicine was, and it
Yeah,
took me forever to find. I had to use a guide. Even though the door was highlighted, I just couldn't find it for shit. But yeah, generally the swimming was fine. I didn't usually do it. I get sometimes I get confused about whether Kenway was like whether he was swimming or whether he
Yeah.
was just dog paddling. I don't know. Sometimes it wasn't clear because the ocean was kind of, covering up the arms.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, swimming's much improved. I can only imagine what it was 10 years ago or over 10 years ago.
Yeah, and then the visuals underwater look great too. Like you see all the fish and the coral and things like that.
Yes.
It looks great.
Yeah, the sharks look great too.
Yep, the sharks look great. Could be nerve wracking. I know as somebody that like gets nervous in the ocean and things like that, things around me. I have a fear
Yeah.
of water, like not water, but like the ocean. Largely because of video games, I think, and media. The stupid eel in Super Mario 64 and
Yep.
Banjo Kazooie the shark
Banjo
and
Kazooie. God damn it, that shark.
the piranha in Mario 64 as well.
Yeah.
Mario 64 could have made me afraid of pianos too. That game was scary. Now that I think about it.
Okay, yeah, it had a lot more
Banjo
scares
too.
going on than it really
I
should
mean
have.
Banjo too. When you walk into like you see the shark. What's his name?
Yep.
The giant shark.
I know what you're talking about on the do 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 do
Right when you
do do
walk in his
island.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's so scary. You always Chomper or something? No, maybe that was the big fish with the
Yeah.
teeth. I forget.
Anyway.
And then he
Yeah.
dares to make a return on Rusty Bucket Bay at the end, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? No one asked for you to be back. Anyway, total tangent.
Yeah. But the music's good. It's nothing. I don't think there's anything memorable for me. I don't like. Oh, I'm gonna listen to the soundtrack again. But I think it
Yeah.
captures what to be a pirate and
I
the world and
love
stuff.
the sea shanties. Remember in 2021 during
Yeah.
COVID where everybody was into fucking sea shanties all of a sudden?
Yes.
But yeah, so that brought me back to that time. A very strange time, obviously, not a good
Yeah.
one. But yeah, sea shanties are so fun. I that was the one collectible I went out of my way to actively look for. I didn't do all of them, but if one was near me
Yeah.
or I was on an island where one was close, I mean, nobody wants to listen to the same fucking four sea shanties over and over again.
Yeah.
I think I got up to 10 or something, and even then, there are still many more.
Yeah.
So they do such an awesome job. The vocals are so raw and interesting and textured and layered, and the lyrics are great if you like listen to them. Obviously some of them are just about getting drunk, right, and siring women or whatever, but like some of them are definitely like the one I sang at the didn't really sing, but the one I said at the first one, Lowlands Away,
Yeah.
is one about like longing and desperation and stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to shout out the sea shanties. I think they're super fun. They add a lot to the world, and they're made better because now you can choose the sea shanty that gets played. I mean, I just let it go. Like I just whatever you boys want to do, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I think it's awesome. I've always been a big fan of this part of the game, and they
Yeah.
kept it and they made it better.
Yeah, like that's why the traveling is a good and a bad thing because the good thing is
Yes.
that it lets you like, get absorbed in the world, sail for 10 minutes and listen to people sing. But it can go on a little too long, as we said, but yeah,
Yes.
I get the whole point. And the shanties is one of the best part of the game. This game is very gory. And the combos are really cool. I mean, no one gets like their heads cut
Yes.
off or anything like that. They never go like that far
No.
with it, but like he goes pretty deep, pretty deep. Like he goes right through people's necks and like
Yeah, yeah.
it's
And then he
awesome.
like when he sticks him through the stomach, he like
Yeah,
does a little extra I'm like, Edward, he's dead, bro.
yeah,
I think we're good. But it's really cool.
yeah. They
And
don't.
I like it.
Yeah. Now they don't show like guts coming out. They don't go like full. They
No,
don't go
no.
like Last of Us level of it,
Yeah.
but it's pretty gory with the combos for
I
sure.
will say surprisingly too about the characters. One last thing from me for pros.
Yeah.
I surprisingly got a little emotional. I'm a huge sap when it comes to media. Honestly, I get way more emotionally invested in media, I think, than actual people.
Mhm.
Shout out to all my autistic introverted people. But honestly, some of the character writing was good enough that towards the end, I forgot how fucking dark the back half of Black. I mean, it's historically accurate, of course, but they generally, but like the back end of this game is fucking dark. You got people dying left and right. I'm not gonna say who, but it's rough. And there were a couple moments where I genuinely felt some emotion about a given character dying. Just because I really liked them. I really thought they were a good character. I didn't like, don't get me wrong, I didn't start like weeping or something. But like, yeah, I got a little emotional and I thought it was done well. So props to the writing team for that. I think
Yeah.
they did a great job with, Captain Kidd and Blackbeard in particular. So I just want to shout out that.
Yeah,
That's my last pro.
it did capture some gender role issues as well, right? Like
Yes.
not like again, not in a like in your face way, but like it was there.
Yeah.
I like how they handle a lot of themes in this game. So overall, visuals are great, gameplay is good, ship combat is good, characters are likable, the story is pretty good, like I said, and over like the music's good. Like, this is a quality game. Like this is a good game, a great game, really, you can say. And
Yeah.
is it gonna be my top 10? We'll see. But like overall, I'm very happy with this remake.
Yeah.
This might be because Black Flag arguably is the best Assassin's Creed game, so this could be my favorite Assassin's Creed game. It's just hard to say, but
It's hard to say. I remember playing Assassin's Creed 2 and thinking that was really great too. I think the two are really synced up for me, funnily enough, in
yeah,
terms of their quality. And that's the original Assassin's Creed 2. I would love to see a remake with Ezio. I don't know how you do that though, because aren't there like there's Brotherhood and there's Revelations? Oh God, another fucking Revelations game.
you can
But yeah,
reboot the
yeah.
series.
They're doing it because they're running out. I mean they've been running out of steam, but they're running out of steam for this franchise, and I
Yeah,
think they're just going to go back to their money makers. And everyone fucking loves Ezio. Ezio's fantastic.
yeah,
Who doesn't love seeing Leonardo da Vinci?
yeah.
So I think that would be great. I would love if they would do like a remake collection of the because I don't really want 1, 2, and 3, but they'll probably do that because it's Ubisoft, and we'll talk about that part later.
Well,
But yeah.
the first one needs a remake badly. That game is
That yeah, that's true
unplayable. That
too.
game is
You can't even go
unplayable.
back to that game.
Yeah, that game is unplayable right now. But yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know what else they can do. They've done almost every time period at this point.
they really have. At this point, they're gonna fucking go to the 2000s or the 90s or some
Yeah, they
shit. I'm
should.
gonna get
I'm kind of curious how they would do a modern one. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm kind of
The
curious.
most modern, I think, is this game? Question mark? Or no? Maybe it's 3 with the colonial times. I think that's because that's
Yeah,
1770 ish.
yeah.
I don't think they go any higher than that. I could be wrong.
Do you
Maybe they
what time period was the Japan one? Was that like I
the
think that was
Japan one. That's like 1300 or something.
was it? Okay. I mean
Yeah, it's really
oh
early in the feudal era.
I'm getting confused with Ghost of Yotai. That was the 1800s, I think.
Yeah,
Um
because that was like 200 years after Tsushima. So yeah, it kind
yeah.
of had to be.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what else you could do. I mean, you got to pick like more of an obscure like a Latino country. I don't think there's ever been like a Latino Assassin's Creed. Like
Yeah,
Mexico or
that'd be pretty
something. Like
cool.
Mexico or something.
It'd be great if they did. Yeah, Mexico. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff about. I know it's very stereotypical, but you could do stuff about the cartels, or you could do stuff about the upheaval Mexican revolutions that happened. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot you could do with
South
Mexico,
America,
honestly.
maybe South America, like in Brazil or
South
something.
America, man. Imagine doing Assassin's Creed during apartheid. That wouldn't be controversial at all. Oh my god.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Antarctica. Do like Assassin's Creed Antarctica. You're a
It
penguin.
just turns into the thing.
You're a penguin with like a hidden blade. You do like dives and stuff.
They already have that game coming out. It's the Penguin game that we talked about a couple
Yeah.
episodes ago. Anyway,
That's probably why I'm interested in it so much.
that's right. I
Assassin's
can't wait till
Creed.
if the DLC comes out, they give him a finger blade or
Oh,
whatever.
they should give him like a hood, like a little costume or something. That'd be cool.
I never did the hood. Did you ever do the hood for like because they gave you the option? I never put up the hood. I think I'll put up the hood towards the end of the game because
I
he's
okay,
yeah,
so I like to get into the story and the role play and all that. So like when I'm about
yeah,
to like stealth or get like assassinate someone, I put the hood on just like
sure.
to get to like
Oh,
feel it. And then
I
like when
do
I'm
that, but even
sailing, it's
harder.
about it. Yeah.
Like I don't do it until later in the game where Kenway finally like accepts that. Although even saying that, I've kind of been forgetful about it because
Yeah.
I've been playing for about 20ish hours. I actually have not beaten the game, by the way. I'm very close, and I've beaten it before, of course. Um, but yeah, I don't put up the hood a lot. I don't know that it really does anything, but it's a cool
No.
little thing that you can
No,
do.
it's just cool. Like you get ready. Like oh, I want to
Yeah,
assassinate
yeah,
someone. Like when I'm in a main like area or something, I don't put it on. It just kind of like it would be weird to walk around with a hood like that. But
yeah,
yeah. So when I'm usually in those kind of missions. All right, let's get to the cons now. So right off the bat, I think probably the biggest issue for me in this game is the parkour. It's clunky as heck. This game wants you to parkour a lot. It's Assassin's Creed, obviously,
yeah,
and you hold down the button. You hold down A or X or whatever controller you use to go like to do like all your platforming and all that, and then he just doesn't register to what I want him to do at times. Like I've died or fallen the wrong path and lost track of whoever I'm following, or I've just wasted like 20 seconds of my life because he just didn't grab on to the way I want him to grab on. I don't know why it wasn't working. The parkour in this game is quite clunky. I know they're going for this like free parkour where you hold the button down and he does all these tricks, but it shows its age. Even though it's a remake, a lot.
Yeah. I'll a perfect example of this. I'm high up. I'm talking to Captain Kidd, and they are lambasting me about my unfaithfulness to my wife in terms of various things. And I try to jump from one corner of the windmill into a hay pit. Fucking completely misses it. Fucking Wile E. Coyotes it and just dies. So in my head, Captain Kidd roasted him so bad he just killed himself. But seriously, like stuff like that can be so frustrating. I would like, especially if you're trying to get up on the rigging of a ship, it's very finicky, and like I just feel like didn't really account for that.
Yeah,
It took me like a few minutes, if not 5 minutes, to get to a captain late in the game from the rigging and like find a spot where I could kill him.
yeah,
And the original part didn't even work. I had to like go off of the ship and then whistle and then lure him
yeah.
there. And yeah,
The most common problem I had though is like when I'm climbing up a mountain or into a fort, and I'm climbing up, he jumps off the wall backwards, and I fall like 20 feet into the water, and I have to climb up all the way again. I wouldn't even die. I would just
yeah,
like have to climb up. I'm like, why are you jumping back? I didn't tell you to
yeah. Back and
jump
checks can be
backwards.
annoying.
Yeah, so that was very annoying. I think the AI of this game is very simple. Um, the stealth in this game is very simple. Like this whole game is literally just hide and seek. Like you hide, you whistle at the guy, he comes to you, you kill him. Like the stealth is really not. It's not Hitman or anything like that. It's very
It
simple.
sucks because I'm not a good representative for this. I keep getting found out, but I think it's because sometimes, especially towards the later end of the game, I'm just getting impatient. I'm like, okay, let's wrap this up. I'm at 90%, so it's not like horrible, but
Yeah,
I am at the stage where I'm like, all right, let's wrap this up. Like, let's go home, everybody. I'm ready to be done with the game,
yeah,
and I'll just rush ahead, and I'll have to like suddenly stop because the guys will come up right in front of me. I'll be
yeah,
like, oh shit, and I'll get caught. Or sometimes like. I won't see a guy out of because the field of vision isn't like super high. I think I should have increased that, but I never did. And so sometimes you'll get caught from a corner or something. But overall, I agree. I mean, you can just absolutely abuse the shit out of
yeah,
whistle, assassinate. Some guy gets alerted because he just saw someone die. Runs over, assassinate. Somebody
mhm,
gets, it goes on and on and on.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it can be you can exploit
But
the AI
yeah.
very easily.
But with that said, another problem I have with this game, they'll put too many enemies in one area at times, and especially
Yeah.
when there's like a target you have to kill. Like it makes sense.
Yes.
Obviously, he has an army around him, like his security and everything. But like his pathway, the AI, he's never goes in a great spot. Like I always have to just like screw it. I'm gonna just go in and kill him because
Yeah.
like this is especially frustrating in those missions where if you get caught, you get killed immediately. And like those missions like you get shot automatically, you just die. Like they didn't change that. Like you just straight up get shot. And that gun is so freaking loud. You get sniped and it would be so loud in my headphones. I'm like, I don't like this at all. Um, and sometimes the AI, like the bigger, like the bosses, can see you
Right.
way faster. Like I'm like, how the hell did he
Oh,
see me?
let me
How did
talk
he
about
see
this.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me talk about this.
yeah,
This is so frustrating. This is actually one of my bigger issues. The AI in terms of going from yellow or white to yellow to red is so fast. If you fuck up, at least in my experience, if you fuck up and you go in an area you're not supposed to and you go, oh shit, I gotta turn back, by the time you're thinking about turning back, all the enemies have already turned on you. And they're already like, how dare you step within 5 fucking meters of this goddamn vicinity? And
yeah,
all of them are on you, and you either run or you stand your ground and fight. It's super frustrating because I got into several fights towards the beginning of the game, or at least a few fights towards the beginning of the game, that were totally preventable. But I either didn't know that those were forbidden areas because the game doesn't tell you until it's too late, or just the enemy reacts so quick
they do.
to being like, yeah, it's on site, like you dared get within a yellow zone by
Yeah,
like 1 foot, you know what I mean?
and they can see you like freaking Deadshot, as you put on the notes. Like,
Yeah, no, the Charles, there's a fight, the Charles Vane fight, I already said Charles, there's a Charles Vane fight late in the game. Dude was fucking Bullseye or Deadshot or whoever you want
oh
from
yeah,
comics who has like
yeah,
supernatural aim. I only died 3 times, but it was really frustrating, and I considered putting down the difficulty or some shit because It was really annoying. He would just shoot me, and then I'd try to heal, and he'd shoot me while I'm doing it, and I would try to get the berry so I wouldn't have to use the remedy. I would try to take cover, which you would think would be the answer, but no, he found granados on a fucking deserted island somehow. Isn't that convenient for him? So it
Unlimited,
was really fuck. It was
unlimited
fun.
amount.
And then when I got to him, he was a joke. I did him in one shot. I did him in one kill after that. I just parried him and I fucking killed
Yeah,
him.
that's yeah,
But getting up to him was such a pain in the ass because he was like I said, like he was fucking dead shot
yeah.
or
That's how
bullseye.
you know it's a
He was
video
like,
game. Yeah, because like they have
yeah,
perfect aim, and like somehow you're on a deserted island in the 1700s, and he happens to have unlimited ammo and
yeah, and
unlimited
grenades
grenades,
and
unlimited.
perfect eyesight, and it's just like fuck off, dude. Like this is so annoying.
Yeah. Not only that, but like when you're running away, like you'd be 100 yards away, and some missions don't let you complete it,
Don't let you run away at all.
or they don't let you. Yeah, they don't really run away at all, or like to continue something, you have to like be stealth. That says you cannot do the mission while you're in combat. I'm like, I'm not in
Yeah,
combat. I'm 100 yards away, and they still
yeah.
and they still know where I am somehow.
The other side of the Oblivion issue that I ran into with the remaster, like there's some fucking ocelot 100 million miles away from me, and then it's like I'm like, bro, just leave me alone. I'm far away from you. Like, just go away. Oh my
Yeah, this
god.
game has
And
that
so,
problem,
yeah,
unfortunately. Like they know where I like. How do you know where I am? I'm completely gone. Like we're in a
it's
city.
really frustrating. You can be hidden and have like gone super far away, and like they'll still be either inches from your face or they'll have caught up to you and like
Yeah.
will attack you
Like
anyway.
you can be like getting chased and you jump in like like a barrel or something, or
Yeah,
like in hay or whatever, and they know where you
yeah,
are. Like
yeah.
how?
Immediately.
So yeah, this game had this way that it's designed, the AI just knows where you are no matter what. Uh
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of invisible open world barriers. Uh
No.
like you get limited at times. It's a big open world game. For the most part you can do wherever you want for the most
Yeah.
part. But there are times where it's like
I did.
the
I had this
Red Dead
happen to
Redemption
me.
problem. Yeah.
I had this happen to me today where you're taking on some Spanish galleon before one of the final missions, like, in the 80s to 90% range.
Yeah.
And they're positioned right next to an area you can't enter. And I was getting low on health, so I killed one, boarded them, and tried to kill it really fast, like kill all the guys really fast, but I couldn't because they desynced me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I should be able to go over here and board the ship and use it to repair my ship. But yeah,
Right. Yeah. Not a huge problem, but not as bad as Red Dead Redemption 2's was. Like you just go off a little off the map, like in the mission, and you get game over. But it's there a little bit. I didn't like that. Upgrading the ship, like, there's a lot of upgrades in this game. It's cool, but there's so much grinding, and they kept the grind from the first game, I mean, the original. I mean, in it, and Ubisoft grinding. I just don't like Ubisoft's grinding. They put way too much side content and side
yeah.
activities to do.
I
It's boring.
they introduced a really cool Blackbeard side quest towards the end of the game, and I was so pumped to do it because I was lamenting. I was like, "Why can't you go after this guy? Like, why can't you do this and that?" And to do it, you've got to fight this fucking man of war and this whole fleet. I'm like, "Fuck that! I don't have the patience. I want to like do it like from a storyline perspective and like honestly, kind of morally, because the guy you're trying to kill is a fucking prick.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it's just not worth it. The amount of upgrades and reals I'd have to fucking make, the grind's just not worth it. A lot of these assassin contracts are only 1,500 reals, and maybe like a little like in the 2000s if you do the extra thing, but that's not always guaranteed.
Right.
It's just frustrating. It just feels like gatekeeping. And I don't know. I was like, I'm just not doing this mission. I just want to be done with the game. I love the game. It's a really great game, but
Yeah.
it's frustrating that they're basically gatekeeping.
Yeah. I don't really like the side content that much. Like, it's cool at first, but like then after you do it like the first couple times, and it gets really repetitive. Like when you take
Yeah,
over a fort, like shooting it all down gets repetitive, and then climbing into it. It's like the same sequence over again. It has that Far Cry problem, Ubisoft problem,
yeah,
where it just feels like the same thing over and over. It's cool the first couple times, and now it's just the same. Okay, take over the camp, beat the camp, beat the boss. Like it, same routine as every other game. It feels frustrating, and then I don't like getting the map pieces. It's just frustrating and repetitive. It's just not. I don't enjoy it. So I got a certain point with the game where I'm just not into side content anymore. I just want to do the main stuff because I was like, I'm ready for this game to be over now. Like, I'm not feeling the side content,
Yeah.
unfortunately. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I did some of the side content.
Yeah.
I know this is like super powered virtue signaling here. I did go out of my way for all the assassins contracts to kill all the slavers because I mean that's just fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
besides that, I didn't do a lot of the side content. If it involved,
Mm.
Steve Bonnet or Blackbeard or like an important character, I was there. If it was like immediately in my vicinity and it was giving me a lot of money, I was probably there.
Yeah.
But generally, no. Like a lot of the side quests are just boring. I had no interest in harpooning. I don't want to kill innocent whales just for their materials. I don't know. To me, it's like hunting. I just don't find any
Yeah.
any real joy
It
in
wasn't
that.
it wasn't even
Even
that great. It felt like, it reminded me of Resident Evil 4 when you fight the monster in the lake.
oh god,
No
one of the
one.
worst bosses in that amazing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I in the bane of my speed runs, honestly.
Most people's. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, similar to you, I skipped a lot of the side quests. I'm glad to hear that you did it too, because I'm like, man, is this
Yeah.
just not like connecting with me? Like, am I
Sure.
the issue? I'm like, I just felt disconnected from it.
Yeah, I did a good amount. To say I did a good amount, like I didn't like go crazy with it or anything like that. Like I didn't like just mainline the whole game. I would beat the game way faster if I did. But I got enough for my money's worth. I think,
Yeah,
honestly. All right. The enemy ship AI is very aggressive. Like when you have a high wanted level, like in Grand Theft Auto, like these ships are aggressive, especially the big ones. Strip combat can be frustrating at times when you get overwhelmed. You have to upgrade your ship in this game. You do.
yeah, you really do,
There's missions where
especially late game.
you have to
Especially
escort.
late game.
Yeah, because you have to
Yeah,
escort, and the game punishes you for not upgrading your ship.
yeah,
Yep. So there's that. Right. Where we talked about the stealth killing being an issue with the path. I didn't really care for the world without gold chapter. It's a lot of fetch quests for the final cutscene. Not really feeling that.
yeah.
Uh,
I can't even do it because the Man of War fucking decimates me, and I
yeah.
I have been upgrading my ship, but apparently it's just not good enough. I think they want you to have a fully upgraded ship, and again, like I said before, I don't have the patience for that at this point.
Yeah.
I'm balancing, just to go a little outside into the real world for a second. I'm balancing a full-time job. I'm balancing two courses at school. So I just don't have the fucking time or the
Right.
patience. It's Ubisoft. I want to cancel my subscription.
Yeah. And then finally the microtransaction store. Didn't affect me at all because I could just completely ignore it. I always do think people over exaggerate the issue with these kind of stores and these cosmetics and things like that because you can ignore it. Like I remember the Dragon's Dogma thing when the second one came out, everybody went off about the crystals, like ruining the game because you had to buy it. I played the whole game, put like 100 hours into it, got all the achievements, never once went on the store. So I do think the fan reaction tends to be over dramatic with that. But with that said, Ubisoft is very greedy, and I don't support microtransactions. I always hate their artificial grinding where they force you to grind and then want you to skip it to pay for it. I see through the BS. But fortunately, Dory can say the same thing. You can just mainline the game, avoid all this stuff, and be totally
Yeah.
fine. You don't have to
Yeah,
touch
I
it.
completely agree. I never did one single fucking microtransaction. Trust me, they told me about it. Their Ubisoft Connect tells me about it. Honestly, let's just talk about Ubisoft for a quick second. I fucking hate Ubisoft. I don't usually give them my money, but I love Black Flag a lot. And they had a special deal where I could get uh like a premium. And I could get it for like 18 bucks. And that's what I did. I was tempted to get it from a keys site. That way Ubisoft wouldn't get direct money from me. By the way, when this game came out, I'm not going to go too far into this because I know we're all sick of fucking tired of talking about this news. But Ubisoft decided to celebrate Black Flag's launch by fucking laying off a whole bunch of people. So I really hate Ubisoft with a passion. There's a reason why I have not bought a single game from them in about 10 years,
Yeah.
except for like maybe some. No, that's EA, the indie games. But I
Yeah.
don't like Ubisoft. I think their corporate culture sucks. I think
Yeah.
their microtransactions suck. I think they don't take care of their workers. I think they have a long history of that being the case.
Yeah.
So I was very uneasy about giving them any of my shillings, so to speak. And unfortunately, the deal is so good. You get the deluxe edition, and they didn't bother me about microtransactions that much through Ubisoft Connect. But I swear to God, as soon as I'm done with this game, I am uninstalling, deleting this app, and I'm probably never like. It's not like this game hasn't made me like a fucking believer in Ubisoft as a company,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm not like, oh well, their next game is going to be amazing. Like even Shadows got sevens and eights. I know it was generally well received, but there was still definitely a lot of criticism and people who it
Yeah.
still didn't connect
Pretty.
with.
Yeah. Pretty much all the Assassin's Creed games fall in that 7 and 8 area. I can't think of an
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed game that got like a 95 or anything like that.
no,
Their games
no,
never get that.
it's Ubisoft, right?
Yeah.
They just
Well,
they just don't make generally speaking they do not make quality games because the basis for their philosophy on open world games. I mean, it's why I have such a mixed history with open world games. I just hate the way that Ubisoft turned the whole gaming industry, not the whole gaming industry, but you know what I mean. A lot of the gaming industry into like a fucking checkbox, and
mhm.
now all open world games have that kind of stigma where it's like, oh, well, I don't want to play open world games because I don't want to have the checkbox
I do.
issue.
I do.
Or,
Yeah,
yeah,
I do blame. Because I don't mean to cut you off. I do blame
no, it's fine.
fans as much for that as well because people were like, "It's $70 game. I should get 70 hours out of it." Like I hate that mindset. Like
Yeah, that's a bad mindset. Yeah, absolutely. Some fans are at risk here in terms of being blamed, but I'm always gonna
I think
fall
it's
harder
both. I think it's both.
on the companies. But I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I definitely think it's
Yeah.
both. I think it's definitely companies thinking we have to be bigger and better and the big bloat. We have to like our
Yeah,
budget.
the
Like
sequelization of games is
yeah,
such a disease. Like it's
yeah.
like that fucking Sonic meme where it's like I want lower quality games with lower prices for workers getting paid for doing more for doing less work, and I'm not kidding. Like that is at this point my philosophy. Like I like less sequelization in video games
Yeah.
because it's just ridiculous.
It's kind of funny the shift. Like I remember in the 2010s, people got so tired of linear games. Everything was linear, and that was a big negative. And
Yeah.
open world was the cool thing. And now we've shifted back to, oh, I'm so tired of open world. Where's my linear?
Yeah.
Give me my linear games back.
Yeah, we've swung the pendulum. I do want to talk about my own cons.
Yeah.
I personally had some FPS drops, especially in towns. Now they were not consistent, which is the weird part. Sometimes it would run totally fine, but other times it would like crawl to a fucking halt. I was doing some parkour, and it was like I was getting 5 frames a
Mm.
second. Like I don't know what the fuck was happening. It could have been because of my controller, because my controller doesn't warn me when I get low on battery. Does Steam controller do that?
Uh, I don't know because the thing has such high battery that mine's like always nearly fully
Fair
charged.
point.
Yeah.
Anyway, have I mentioned I'm getting a Steam controller next year? Anyway, yeah, I that was
But
frustrating, but I was able to
but
tinker it
I believe
and
the answer is no, and they have to update it. I believe that they doesn't
okay.
like it's one of the cons. I believe. I'm not sure
Yeah,
though.
okay. Fair enough. But like you said, I mean, I just got to charge it like every other night or every night. But I would have this issue where my controller would disconnect, and I'd frantically try to connect it, and my laptop for some
Well,
reason doesn't
do you play it wired or wire?
communicate well with controllers. Well, it's wireless at first, but that's what I'm saying. Then the battery dies and it becomes wired. And so my computer, unfortunately, I don't know why, but the USB ports can be a little finicky.
Oh,
And
okay.
not for anything else. Like I can move. Sorry, this is probably fucking with the audio, but I can move that
Yeah.
microphone around plenty, and it's
Yeah.
fine. But if I even turn 2 degrees to the right with my controller, disconnect. So it's really annoying.
Is,
And that's more of a me issue.
is it the
But
controller? You think?
I don't. It's a relatively new controller, and I had this problem with with my Nitro
Mm,
controller too. So I think it's the laptop. But
gotcha.
either way, I'm not buying a new laptop just for USB ports. But
Yeah.
um, most of the time it's not an issue. But
So
I want to say anyway,
yeah.
the FPS drops
Yeah.
were frustrating to me. I know Seb didn't have them, and it's weird that he didn't, but I did because we have very similar, specs.
To an extent, because I have a desktop, which is way stronger than a laptop.
True,
Just
that's
to be
true.
clear. Just to be
I
clear.
always forget that. I always forget that. So
Yeah.
I'm running an actual laptop. So, but I did some tinkering, and then it was usually fine. But every now and then, some FPS drops. It could be frustrating.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I use
the new Office.
Let
Oh,
me
go ahead.
let me add on to your point before you go to the next thing.
Sure.
Uh, I had DLSS on, and it made a huge difference. Like I never went below 60 with DLSS on. I mean, I put DLSS on for everything now, so I don't even realize. I don't even notice the difference anymore. I don't see the artificial frames like I
Yeah,
used to. Like it's like I immediately, as soon as I get the game, I immediately put that on if it's an option, and it
yeah,
makes a huge difference because I got a high end graphics with high end frame rate.
yeah.
I'd probably be below 60 if not for that. Because I had it on very high. I don't think I had everything on ultra high or like that. I don't have the graphics card for that,
I had it on very high for
but it's
like the
very high.
first like
Yeah.
10 hours, 10ish hours, and then it started like giving me issues. So I put it down to high and that seemed to fix it. But
Yeah.
I mean, even on very high, my computer still had 1,000 bits of RAM or however you say it left over, like according to
Mm,
the estimation.
yeah.
So I don't know what was going on, but it's whatever. It's not a huge deal, but it was annoying when it happened.
Yeah.
Um, so I do think the new officers and the new quests are cool. I do kind of feel like they are a bit tacked on. You don't really Lucy, Baldwin, and Padre, and of course Ade's the goat. But like they're cool, but I feel like besides Ade, you never really talk to them after their quest is done. And I get it; it's mostly for the mechanical thing. And like Seb said, this is not that kind of character-rich game. But it does feel kind of like you do their quest and then they never say a single goddamn word again. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, they just feel like everybody else on the crew, but not in a good way, right? They just kind of stand there and they don't say anything, and you can literally one time I saw Lucy in the background. I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot you were there." Like she never says anything, you know. It's all Ade or or other characters. So, yeah, it was frustrating to me. Not a huge deal, but it felt kind of patchwork, in terms of that, in terms of implementation. Um, Another thing I want to talk about is disabling your saves. Cyberpunk does this too. I fucking hate it. Don't give players the option to manually save if you're going to take that away from them and not tell them. This also has the sin of like you can't even quick save, so you can't get that little pop up that Cyberpunk at least does, has the grace to give you that you cannot save right now, which I mean was the bane of my existence during that game. I love that game, but that was a stress point for me. Um, but in this game, you can't. You have to open up the pause menu, open up the animus, go to the save, only to be greeted with the dreaded text: "Saves are disabled right now." And there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes you'll be out of combat and it'll happen. Sometimes you'll be in combat and it'll happen, and then you'll die. And then, like what we said earlier about checkpoints, that'll happen, and you'll lose not a ton of progress, but enough to be annoying and be like, okay, like this was not designed well. I had the one of the missions with I think it was with Charles Vane. It was a mission where you're like following people on ships, and like you would you would die, and then you get sent all the way back to the beginning of the conversation in the right at port. And I'm like, this was not designed well. Like this is such a waste of my time. So, Seb, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that or the new officer quest.
I don't really have a lot about the saves. Like I thought the checkpoint system at times was frustrating. Like it would put you all the way back,
Yeah,
but I didn't really have a problem with the saves really.
yeah,
Um, then the officer part, I don't I don't remember having issue with that. Um,
yeah.
I
It's
just
not a huge issue to be fair, but it's
yeah
just something I noticed, and I'm just like, eh,
yeah. I mean the side content in this game is just not great for me. I wish
yeah.
it just didn't count. It isn't. It just wasn't as good. Like it could have been a lot better. It could have had like that Witcher
It could have been
3
better.
level of writing where like I love the side content. A lot of games like Fallout or Elder Scrolls tend to have better side content than the main content. And
Yeah,
like
for
Starfield
sure.
had that like with a side.
Starfield had that too.
Yeah,
I'll never, ever, ever, no matter how many times the haters talk about how bad Starfield is, I will never completely diss on Starfield, even though I came up with the Starfield 8 because of that fucking mission where you get to dress up as a tardigrade or whatever. That's fucking amazing. I don't know who thought of that, but I still remember that mission.
yeah,
Last thing I want to say, look, I'm glad that they did the more modern engine, but sometimes it feels like this engine is held together by lost and abandoned pieces of glue sticks that elementary children left behind at an arts fair. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like things will kind of like when you're petting a cat, like your hands will go right through the cat.
mm,
Like when you're like get a real close look at some NPCs, they kind of look weird or off.
yeah,
Even during combat, sometimes things will look kind of strange. It just feels like this engine is about one big event away from collapsing. And I don't know if that's how Shadows plays. I don't know if that's just a me thing and just I noticed it. It was just a little thing. It was this is a death of a thousand cuts kind of thing. It was a little thing that I kept noticing over and over the course of 20 hours where I'm like, the engine doesn't like it's like when you look at something from far away, it's beautiful, but then like when you get up closer, like you can see those gritty details and it just kind
Yeah,
of
Shadow had that
it's
problem
not the
too.
same quality.
Yeah, I beat Shadow, so and that had the same problem.
Yeah.
There's
So,
Ubisoft's never been the best at that. Their games have always been a step down from the best. They just don't make super polished games. They just don't. That was always been my big problem with Ubisoft overall. Like, I don't hate
yeah.
Ubisoft as much as you do. I play most of their games.
Yeah.
Like most of their like AAA games. I don't play like Just Dance or anything like that, but I play like a lot of their AAA games. Like I play most of the Far Cry games, and they just feel like they're made in a factory. Like that's what it really
Yeah.
feels like.
They really
They
they
just
really
pump it
do.
out, and they just shove as much content as they could possibly make it.
But
And
that's and to turn it back around to the pros, that's what makes this game feel so different to me. It feels like it was really made with dedication and love. They brought some of the
yeah,
original people back
yeah,
from Black Flag, including the game director and the writers and stuff like that. Like this game shows that Ubisoft could be making really great games if they actually
yeah,
invested in it and decided to actually care about video games as an art form instead of just a money machine.
yeah,
But as we can see from many of the people at I believe it's Ubisoft Singapore. I could be wrong. Just got laid off. That'll probably never happen because Ubisoft is, in my opinion, rotten to the core. And I just they're one of
mm,
my most hated companies. I really don't like them.
yeah,
Obviously, I'm not saying boycott the game. I'm not saying don't buy it. You do whatever you want. You know, maybe if you want to get in character, you know, you could get in character for a Ubisoft game. But I'm not
yeah,
saying you do that, of course. But anyway, you could. But yeah, this is a great game. I think Seb and I are pretty similar on our overall feelings. We have little tiny differences, but overall, I think it's a really great game. I think it's obviously better than the original in a lot of ways. And I think although it hasn't sold me on Ubisoft as a company, it has
yeah,
sold me on yeah. There's a reason I loved this game. There was a goodness at the core of this game that I always appreciated, always really liked. And of course I've always loved pirates. You know, I've talked about this before, but I drew treasure maps as a kid. I watched pirate movies as a kid. Pirates of the Caribbean was one of my favorite movies up until certain things happened. We won't go into that. But like I love pirates. I just think they're such a cool, interesting historical figure. They're people who broke off from the mold. That doesn't mean they're good people, but I think they're interesting people. And I've always been fascinated by things like pirate republics and alternative means of governance. I just think that shit's fascinating. And again, I would recommend Black Flags Blue Waters by Eric J. Dolan. It's very good. And I'm not paid to say any of this, by the way. It's not a paid advertisement or some shit, but I genuinely read it last summer during camp. I had a great time with it. I think it's a really good read on a lot of the biggest pirates, and many of whom are in this game. So,
yeah,
yeah, I think it's really cool. And I overall had a really great time with the game. I'm not quite done, but nothing's gonna happen to
yeah,
drastically change my mind. I doubt that at this point.
yeah. Yeah, it's a great game. I think it's 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
It's in my bottom of my top 10 as of now, but that's probably going to change later as we get later on in the year. But I think it's great. As you said it best. It feels like genuine love was made with this game. There was genuine passion. Uh, this doesn't feel like just Ubisoft slop where like it made in a factory. Like it feels like they spent time on this, and Ubisoft's been
yes,
struggling a lot financially, so they can't.
it does.
So they had to slow down and make more polished games. Like the Star Wars thing really blew up in their face,
Yeah,
and they deserve it. I mean, they've been a really greedy company in a lot of ways.
yeah,
They're one of the worst in terms of that. I mean, they're one of the big three, so obviously the big three are all scummy, all three of them.
for sure.
'Cause EA and Activision are not much better. But I think Ubisoft makes the worst out of the three. That's the problem, though. Like those other companies, EA and Activision, still have like bangers. Um,
Yeah.
Ubisoft never
Well,
really seems to
Ubisoft
have
is
that.
like
Yeah.
kind of decent to great games at best,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly. They pump out probably more games than the other two, like, but they're never at like high quality. Like, they're not
yeah,
bad either. They make like they're like the definition of making 7 out of
7 out of
tens.
10.
That's all they
Yep,
make. Yeah, or 8 out of 10. Assassin's Creed games are almost always an 8 out of 10 for me, or 7.5 or something like that. I mean, so they don't make bad games. It's not the There's not the games that I dislike Ubisoft about. It's the microtransactions, the layoffs, the greediness, that stuff. Their games are not horrendous. They're just because the internet will make you think like every game they make is garbage, but that's not true either. They're just very mediocre or average or sometimes good. It varies by series. Anyway, yeah, it's a great game. Authentic pirate game. You love pirates. This is a must play. Um,
Yes.
price could I don't know about the price. It could have been a little cheaper, being a
It could have been.
remake.
I'm really glad if somebody wants to legitimately buy this, which of course you totally should and not do anything else.
Yeah,
You can get it for 17.99, as far as I'm aware, on Ubisoft Connect. You get the deluxe edition too. That
yeah,
was another con for me. Actually, they threw in a lot of like bonus shit, and I'm like, they give you like the gold like assassin uniform, and I'm like, I don't deserve this. I haven't done anything to deserve
yeah,
this.
yeah,
I just felt icky about it, and I know that's totally a me thing. But just like they give you certain trinkets and items for the buying the deluxe edition, I didn't really buy it.
yeah,
I bought a Ubisoft Connect Plus subscription. But the only thing I took from it is the Blackbeard one. So if you do a takedown, it'll inspire more fear and it'll let you get other takedowns faster. So I was like, that's goaded.
yeah,
Like I have to do that. It's the only thing I took.
yeah. They
But
give
yeah,
you yeah,
I was like starting at the beginning of the game, I'm like, Edward's not an assassin. I'm not going to wear this amazing black and gold uniform, which looks sick. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not. It doesn't fit. It's not right.
yeah.
I didn't earn it, and I don't know.
They gave me the
So
crimson one.
it's just the
Yeah,
idiosyncrasy. But yeah,
yeah. They gave me the crimson one with the Blackbeard hat and stuff with the
yes,
fire.
yes, I got that one too. I
I
don't
didn't,
even think that one looks good.
I didn't like that one at all.
I didn't
I
like
bought
that
my
one.
own costumes. I got like a really cool black one, and that's what I stuck with the whole game. I had black. It just felt
Yeah,
very assassin. But yeah, the price could have been a little cheaper. Just wait for a sale if you really
agreed.
don't want to pay that much money. But I think the game was worth $60. I mean, $50 probably would have been better. I don't know. Like I'm happy, but I wasn't like, oh my god, I spent $60 on this. I was happy. I thought
Uh,
it was a good game.
safe to, yeah,
So
safe to say I'm pretty happy with the price. I paid 18 bucks for a 25-ish hour game. I'm about 22 hours according to
yeah,
Ubisoft Connect in 20 hours according to the game, but I'll probably be about 25 hours in by the time I beat it or around there. Seb, it took him 27 hours. I don't think the price is horrendous. I do agree it should have probably been 50,
yeah,
but the price I got it for was
yeah, yeah,
fantastic. I just had to officially support Ubisoft, which made me feel really gross. But
yeah,
I haven't bought any of their games in 10 years, and I'm probably never buying a game from them again unless they do a remake of 1 and 2 and blah, 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 and
yeah.
they'll probably get me
But
with that.
yeah,
But they're not making a lot of money off me, is what
yeah,
I'm saying. It's the PlayStation issue right now. I don't buy a lot from PlayStation. It's not like they're making a king's ransom out from me. They're making pennies on the dollar,
yeah,
so I don't care.
exactly. But they, and I still also I hate that Ubisoft makes you connect to the Ubisoft Connect or whatever it's called on
It
PC.
sucks.
It's so
It
stupid.
sucks. It means we can't share it. I would have split it with you. I mean, it sucks. I hate it, and they have to have their own launcher. And it's like
It's so annoying.
you can play over 100 games or some shit. Like that's nothing. Like compared to Game Pass and
They're
compared
like
to so many
cheap.
other launchers.
Their games are like $4 on Steam. You can buy literally.
Yeah,
I bought the entire catalog of Assassin's Creed for like $40 over the
yeah,
years. Like literally, I'm not even exaggerating.
yeah. No, I believe you.
Every game was like $4. You can literally buy the entirety of Assassin's Creed. Maybe not the modern ones. Like those are like
Sure,
$20, 15, 10, $20. But even then, that's like dirt cheap for those games. Those are not even bad games. They're just really big.
they're really long
Yeah,
and sluggish, and from what I've
yeah.
heard, I haven't played them, so I'm not going to say too much to rag on them.
But
But yeah,
but they're good games. They're just really big.
yeah,
So yeah, that's our opinion of Black Flag. We both think it's a great game. It
yeah.
won't, but like I said, it won't be in my top 10 by the end of the year.
I doubt it survives the deluge of fall
There's
games.
too much going
I
on.
just don't see it. It's gonna make it into my top 10, probably like 7 or something, maybe 8. But like I don't know that it stays there with Phantom Blade
Yeah,
Zero coming out and Wolverine coming out and a couple other games that I'm really looking
yeah,
forward
it's too
to.
much.
I doubt it stays there. If it does, it'll be like 9 or 10.
Yeah, because my top, like I said,
But yeah, we'll see.
my top five is gonna dramatically change because we got still got GTA and the Zelda game and Wolverine might
Yes.
be like incredible and Phantom Blade Zero might be incredible and
Yep.
so much can change. So as we talked about, so yeah, it probably won't be my top 10. But probably my honorable mentions possibly.
Yes.
All right. So that concludes our episode. A short episode, but these kind of games warrant a whole episode alone. Honestly, I actually enjoy these episodes the most when we talk about one game and go into full detail on it. Like some of our best episodes have been that.
For sure.
Um, there's a couple of games that I beat. I won't go into detail about them, but like I beat Star Fox. Very short game too.
How was that, by the way? I forgot to ask you.
It's great. It's Star Fox. If you like
Okay.
Star Fox, you'll love it. And if you don't really care for those games, not for you. You can beat the game in an hour, but it's meant for you to replay it and all that stuff. So you're not supposed to just beat it once and then move on to the next game.
Right.
And then I also beat Deer and Boy, which I really enjoy. That was a great narrative game. I strongly recommend it. I don't know if you would like it, Dory, because it's kind of like that inside limbo kind of game.
Sure.
But it is not as puzzle heavy as those. Like it really isn't that puzzle
Yeah.
heavy at all. So it's
That's good.
very narrative focused. So I think you should try it. It's
It's
emotional.
on my backlog, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's on my backlog.
I beat it about 4 hours. But I was pretty good at it. So I guess the average person would probably take like 6 or 7 hours. But yeah. So yeah. And then I played in college football, of course, but that I don't need to talk about that on the podcast. But that's I've had a lot of fun with that one. It's on PC finally, which is incredible, and it runs
Nice.
really really well. And then there's a couple games that I may or may not get that came out this month, which I did get the Doom DLC. I haven't played it yet, but I will play it. I wanted to get Assassin's Creed out of the way
Yeah, it's on
first.
Game Pass. I'm thinking about playing it, but I don't know how hard it's supposed to be, so I just haven't dived in.
Yeah, uh,
I'm just not. I'm
yeah,
also with like what I mentioned before, the camp stuff and the school stuff. My brain
yeah. I get it.
is like kind of at its limit. I just don't think I can handle it. It's not a good time for a Tomb game, basically.
Yeah,
Even a slower paced one like Doom Dark, the Dark Ages.
yeah. I should
Do
probably
you
get
want to
on
talk about
that.
any more games? I got a
Uh,
couple games I wanted to mention too.
Yeah, I should probably get on that because my summer is coming to an end soon. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a couple games. Denshin Attack came out. I haven't played it yet. Heard good things. I might buy it. We'll see. I kind of want to buy the Moss. They turned Moss from VR to a regular 3D platformer now. Like, so you can actually play those games in 3D regular. So I have my eye on that as well. And Desktop Explorer, which you had in your list. I'm not sure if you were still getting that or not.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's very puzzle heavy, but I kind of don't care, and I kind of want to
Yeah,
give it a shot. It's got very positive on Steam, and
yeah,
I love the core central conceit.
yep. And then finally Halo, of course, which comes out at the
Halo,
end of the
yeah.
month. I think that's
Um,
everything for me.
a couple games I
Backyard
played.
baseball as well. Okay, go.
A couple games I played are the Duppy Detective Tasha, which we
Yeah,
talked about a couple of times. Thought that was okay. Very cute animation style, but very short game, about an hour, maybe two at most,
yeah,
and only if you go back for alternate endings. So very cute game, but not a lot of meat on the bone kind of situation. Then I played Bubsy 4D. I did not think I would enjoy a Bubsy game in the year of our Lord 2026, but I actually genuinely thought this was a great game. I cannot believe we got Bubsy 4D, and I'm not just saying this for the meme, before GTA
yeah.
6.
That's why I bought it. I heard it was good,
Yeah.
so I bought it. Yeah,
It legitimately is a great game. It's accessible, but there's still some parts I struggled with. I'm not saying it was a banger, but if you had to ask me like my most surprising game of the year that I enjoyed, Bubsy's got to be up there. It sure there were some moments that were kind of cringy and like, but I mean that's kind of the point. Bubsy's not a cool guy, so I gave it a pass. Overall, I had a great time with it. The platforming was tight for the most part. There were some fun mechanics. The last boss was legitimately like pretty tough, and it took me I think 4 or 5 attempts,
yeah,
which is a lot. I feel like for me or your average gamer. So it was good. Overall, the voice acting and writing was great. I didn't do all the collectibles, but there was funny costumes and
yeah.
stuff. So, and I
Was it?
love the art style. Don't get me
Yeah.
started on that art style. It's very evocative.
Was it the same people that made Demon Tides?
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Yeah.
absolutely was.
I
So that's
think I
why they
got it.
got it.
I think I got Demon Tides and that together as a bundle
You did.
in the Steam
Yeah,
Summer
I believe
Sale.
you did.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to talk about is Until Then, which is one of my favorite narrative games of all time. They released a DLC, and did I cry? Yes, I cried. I cried a lot. So it's two
On
different
brand.
DLCs.
Very on brand.
I know, big surprise. The first DLC is what destroyed me emotionally. The second one, not so much. I wasn't as invested in that, but there was an infuriating cooking mini game at the beginning. Go figure, and I hated it. But generally speaking, I love this DLC. It's excellent. If you love Until Then, or you haven't played it, go play it. But if you love Until Then, go get the DLC. It's super good. Shout out to Seb for purchasing it because I would have to buy the original game and the DLC because I forgot he bought the original game. But it was awesome. It was so good. It felt like a really nice wrap up to a lot of characters that I super loved, and it was them in the future and reflecting on the first game. And like I said, the first DLC mini game stuff excluded, which I wasn't a huge fan of, at least in one part, fucking brought me to tears. I think I cried 5 or 6 times or something. It was ridiculous. It was so emotional. I think a lot of it was being happy for a character that went through so much, and unlike some other queer games I couldn't mention from this year, actually lets her be for the most part happy, and it doesn't tack on the trauma too much. So I know the bar's kind of in hell for that, but yeah. And then the second one was about the protagonist and what he had been up to, and that was cool. But I really felt like they could have just limited it to the first DLC. But it's about 5 hours. I recommend it strongly. I'll stop talking because my voice is running out.
Is there any games that you're interested in July before we go?
Yeah. On my wish list right now, actually, I because of camp, because I work full time and I have a decent job in terms of pay. I have actually literally in my cart right now all 3 games that came out in July. I'm not completely sold on buying them, but the Mermaid Mask, which is another grimoire, it's from the same devs of the Tangled Tower, which I never
Yeah.
played, but heard good things about except for the ending. Detopia, which we have talked about before, but briefly. And then, of course, as we just talked about, Desktop Explorer. So those are all on my cart right now. I have not pressed the purchase button.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I will. I'm still thinking about it. One of them is like much cheaper on a keys site, so I may not much cheaper, but like $5 cheaper.
Yeah.
And I try to only spend like $50 on games
Yeah.
every time.
Ne-
So we'll see.
yeah. This month is not the big month of games. Next month though, oh my god,
No.
starts it all off.
Yeah, yeah. Beast of Reincarnation.
Beast of Reincarnation, Marvel Tokon, Dusk Fade, Madden, which I already bought. With the NCA, Metal Gear Solid, the collection. I don't wait on that. I'm not gonna buy that day one.
Yeah.
The new Plague Tale game and Star Wars Zero Company. So there's a lot of
Yeah, I'm
games.
interested in Plague Tale. I will probably buy it or play it just because it's on Game Pass. Zero Company, I'll think about it. I'll look into it.
I don't know if it's for you.
I know it's
I don't
not
associate with
typically
that
for
kind of
me.
game. Yeah.
I know, I don't either, but there has been some turn-based strategy games I've enjoyed, so I don't want to write it off.
Yeah.
I've liked what I've seen. I'm gonna watch reviews. If people are like, "Oh, this is like XCOM difficulty and there's no accessibility," I'll be like, "Nah, no thanks." But
Yeah.
like, we'll see.
I forgot to mention the Avatar fighting game, which is only $30, by the way. So
Yeah,
it comes out Friday, and Halo comes out Friday, I believe, if you buy the deluxe edition or something like that.
right.
Um, so
Seb and I are probably gonna play that together. I think we're doing co-op for that, but we'll see.
yeah, I'll probably do both solo and multiplayer. Yeah, I should have crossplay. I don't know why it would. It definitely would. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah,
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry for the hiatus. Busy summer.
busy
And
summer. Yep.
we'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bang.
Bye. See you, Space
Sorry, it was
Cowboy.
Kenny. It was a Kenny Omega thing because he's
Oh,
AEW World Champion.
I was doing Cowboy Bebop.